They're loud, they're brutal. They don't not just knock, they kick doors clean off the hinges. Modern semi-auto shotguns, they're the bee's knees, engineered like mini tanks built for hunters, competitors, and just about anyone who expects more than just bang-for-your-buck performance. But what really defines a good shotgun isn't raw firepower, the recoil systems that make heavy loads feel tame, or the versatility that lets one shotgun run birdshot one day and magnum slugs the next. In this video, we're diving into the best modern shotguns you can get your hands on today and why these models are shifting the standard for reliability and strength. We'll cover inertia-driven boomsticks that keep cycling no matter what gas systems that turn heavy. Recoil into smooth, fast-shooting magfed machines that push the boundaries of what a shotgun even looks like. Each one has earned its place on this list, not just for specs on paper, but for what they do in the field at the range or in defense of your home. By the end, you'll see why these semi-autos are dominating the convos online and why some swear by them. The CZ1012 earns its place by doing the simple things right at a price most shooters can reach. The Turkish walnut model looks sharp in person, and at less than $700, it behaves like something that should cost more. The inertia-driven system is the real appeal. It cycles smoothly without constant cleaning, so range days don't end with you buried in solvent and rags. Light trap loads run, heavy 3-inch shells run, the gun just keeps going. 5 extended chokes ship in the box, which keeps it flexible for clays ducks or anything in between. Recoil lands firmer than comparable gas guns, and you feel that when you lean into a long session, good shoulder placement solves most of it. The trade is worth it if you're chasing low-maintenance reliability and want to avoid the carbon crud that gas systems collect. For a first semi-auto or a dependable backup that doesn't need babying, the 1012 gives you honest performance, a clean running action, and the kind of versatility that lets one shotgun do a lot of jobs without drama. The Stoeger 3500 shows what a budget inertia gun can do when you set it up and shoot it in correctly. Expect to pay around $600 and get a 3.5-inch chambered workhorse that carries itself through light 2 3/4-inch target loads and heavy 3.5-inch magnums. The inertia system keeps fouling out of the receiver, which makes a difference for folks who'd rather shoot than scrub. Recoil picks up with the big shells, but Stoeger includes a 13-ounce recoil reducer that helps when you load hot for waterfowl or turkey. The break-in matters on this model. Running a few boxes of heavier loads at the start smooths things out so lighter stuff cycles better later. It's set up to be versatile with 5 chokes included and camo patterns available if concealment matters in your season. A heavy trigger and a loading port that can chew up thumbs after a long day count as the main gripes. At this price, the performance per dollar is the point. If you need a semi-auto that does many rolls and won't make you nervous in rough weather, the 3500 gets on with the task and keeps moving. The Winchester SX4 is the shotgun that just feels right the first time you shoulder it. It sits in that $800 zone where value and real field performance meet. The active valve gas system keeps recoil down even when you step up to heavy 3.5-inch shells. It isn't as plush as top-tier Italian gas guns, but for a lighter, less expensive package, it stays surprisingly easy on the shoulder. Oversized controls make a difference when you're wearing gloves in bitter weather. The bolt handle safety and bolt release give you something positive to work with, not tiny levers that disappear under cold fingers. The red fiber optic bead makes picking up the target fast, and the gun will happily flip between rolls. It cycles light target loads, heavy magnums, and everything between without developing a fussy personality. After a couple of seasons with minimal cleaning, it just keeps running. That kind of reliability across loads is what makes a generalist shotgun useful. If you split your year between clays, turkeys, waterfowl, and upland game, the SX4 covers all of it without demanding constant tweaking. It's a practical tool that delivers more than the price tag suggests. The Genesis Gen 12 moves the conversation toward modern magfed firepower. It lives on the AR-10 footprint, so the controls and ergonomics feel familiar if you've run ARs. The payoff is simple: drop an empty mag, seat a fresh one, and get back on target. In home defense or competition not needing to work, a tube matters. The Gen 12 uses short recoil operation, which keeps cycling smooth even when you lean on heavy loads. It runs 2 3/4-inch and 3-inch shells reliably. With the reciprocating barrel handling the work, the recoil feels more orderly than you might expect from a platform with this much punch. The M-LOK handguard invites the usual accessories: light laser grip so you can set it up for the mission in your head, not just what the catalog suggests. The cool factor isn't pretend. A feature in John Wick Chapter 4 didn't invent its appeal, but it certainly broadcast it to anyone who hadn't discovered magfed 12 gauges yet. This shotgun is the choice for shooters who want modern manual of arms, rapid reloads, and the ability to tune the rifle-style platform to their needs while keeping true 12-gauge performance. Mossberg's 930 SPX is the definition of dependable tactical value. Around $700 buys you a gas-operated semi-auto that mutes recoil and lets you run follow-up shots at a pace that actually matters in defense drills. The package is properly set up 8+1 capacity ghost ring sights that give you a crisp sight picture and a rail for whatever optic you prefer. A red dot on top turns target acquisition into a short motion, and the gun is balanced enough to handle that addition without feeling nose-heavy. The synthetic stock is no beauty queen, yet it shrugs off abuse and weather. The action strips easily, cleans quickly, and goes back together without swearing. The big surprise is how reliably it cycles even with lighter loads that can trip up some semi-autos. Slugs and buckshot run like they should. The 930 SPX makes sense for someone who wants a straightforward defensive shotgun with real capacity and friendly controls, but without the sticker shock of the highest-end tactical models. It's a serious tool that does the job with very little drama and makes practice sessions efficient instead of punishing. The Browning A5 20 gauge is built for hunters who walk miles, carry all day, and still expect crisp handling when birds flush. It comes in just under 6 pounds, so your shoulders appreciate it when the field turns into a long hike. Browning's kinematic drive means no gas system to clog. The action stays cleaner, and the gun keeps cycling without nagging you to pull it apart after every weekend. That classic humpback profile isn't just nostalgia. The longer sight plane helps you lock on to fast targets with confidence. Walnut furniture dresses it like a proper field gun, and the Inflex 2 recoil pad keeps the 20 gauge polite. Speed load is the slick party trick that becomes a habit, letting you shove a shell in and get back to shooting when birds are flying. Barrel options in 26 or 28 inches let you choose your swing, and the included Invector DS chokes make it easy to match your pattern to the day. At about $2,000, you're paying for field manners, clean operation, and a design that prioritizes carry weight without turning recoil into a chore. It's a graceful tool that still works hard. The Beretta 1301 Tactical Lives, where speed and control intersect. The Blink gas system is the headline because it is fast, about 36% quicker than typical semi-autos, yet the real story is how that speed feels when you're driving the gun under pressure. The controls work in your favor. An oversized bolt release and a positive easy safety let you run the shotgun without hunting for buttons. Capacity sits at 7+1, and the barrel clamp carries M-LOK slots, so a light or laser bolts on without guesswork. The shotgun is lighter than some peers, which you notice when slugs or other heavy loads get involved. The recoil edge is the price for a nimble package. Many shooters consider it a fair trade because the 1301 turns, drills into clean, repeatable reps. Configuration options exist if you prefer a traditional stock or something like the Mesa Tactical pistol grip route. Everything about the gun says it was built for quick manipulation in tight scenarios, not just square-range ease. If the plan calls for a defensive semi-auto that rewards good technique and gives you the speed to make it count, the 1301 deserves serious attention. The Beretta A400 Xcel is the gun you bring when clay targets are the day's mission, and consistency is non-negotiable. The Blink gas system carries over here and keeps the cycle fast across both light target loads and heavy field shells. The kickoff system earns its praise by taking a big bite out of felt recoil near 70% by Beretta's measure, so long sessions stay productive instead of punishing. A 30-inch barrel and carbon fiber rib create a swing that feels smooth and predictable, and that confidence shows up on the scoreboard. 3 Optima HP chokes come standard, and you'll actually use them because the platform makes pattern tuning straightforward. The cold hammer-forged barrel and overall build quality inspire the kind of trust that makes a shooter stop worrying about equipment. Thousands of rounds without drama is the promise buyers want in a sporting semi-auto, and this model delivers that exact experience. After a long run of clays or a mixed weekend of targets and birds, this shotgun still behaves like it did on day one. If competitions or serious practice are your main use cases, the A400 Xcel deserves a permanent slot in the case. The Benelli Super Black Eagle 3 is a waterfowler's friend that refuses to quit when the weather tries to ruin everything. Expect to pay around $2,000 and get 3.5-inch capability that doesn't demand adjustment when you bounce between light target loads and heavy magnums. The inertia-driven system is the reason. It keeps crud out of the action and keeps the gun running in mud, rain, and freezing conditions. Comfort Tech. 3 stock tech softens the punch so much that heavy loads feel less punishing, which is a big deal when the plan calls for a full day in the blind. Balance sits in that sweet spot just over 7 pounds, so the gun carries well, yet still helps you control muzzle rise when you're working fast. Benelli's cryo-treated barrel helps with even patterns and consistent performance, the sort of small edge that adds up when birds flare and you need hits, not excuses. The Super Black Eagle 3 has a reputation for reliability that owners actually experience, not just talk about. If your season looks like lousy weather and long mornings, this shotgun keeps working and lets you focus on the hunt. The Benelli M4 is the shotgun people bring up when the conversation turns to serious duty use, and there's a reason. The auto-regulating gas-operated system, Argo for short, keeps the gun running when other designs start, stop, and sulk. It has earned that reputation the hard way by living in the real world since the late 1990s, with the U.S. Marines putting it to work beginning in 1998. A weight of 8 pounds helps tame the kick when you're feeding it everything from light birdshot to magnum slugs. The M4 digests it all without demanding you retune the gun for different loads. Ghost ring sights give you a clean, repeatable sight picture, and the Picatinny rail makes optic choices painless. The whole package feels like a built-to-last tool instead of a range toy. It costs real money, about $2,300, but you know exactly what you're getting for it. A combat-proven semi-auto that behaves the same way every time you bring it up. The weight is the only real concession because this shotgun is built like a tank. If the mission calls for a semi-auto that keeps cycling and keeps hitting when conditions get ugly, the M4 is the bar everyone else tries to meet. And that wraps up this video. Which of the shotguns on our list speaks to you the most? Do you own any of these, or is there another model you'd add to this list? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell for more.